Yeah, I think
41.
41 is just done, so I think we're up to 42.
Cool.
42 is not too long, so I'll get started since we're already a little bit
Yep.
of the time. So proposition 42. And I think this follows on from 41 in some way. So proposition 42. So what we want to do with 42 is we want to construct a parallelogram with the same area as a given triangle. But there's also an additional criterion that this parallelogram has to have a certain given angle. So the aim is to construct, just write down what I said, a parallelogram with the same area as a given triangle with a given angle. So in a text, it says in a given rectilinear angle, but I think with is probably the right thing to say here, given angle. So I'll drop rectilinear because all our angles are made from lines. So I'll draw the diagram here. So the given triangle, I'll draw first with the base on this horizontal line here. And the triangle is just going to be here. And I'll call it ABC. And I'll also denote the given angle as some other angle over here. And I'm gonna give this the name small letter d. We haven't done this a whole lot, but since we're trying to refer to an angle that's completely outside of our original picture, I'll just give it a name, small d. So we'll have to do some constructions before we jump into the proof. So what are we actually going to construct? We're going to construct a parallelogram somewhere on this diagram. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to first bisect the line BC. So I'm going to do this, change color too. I'm going to bisect this line BC. And I want to bisect it and call this point E. Ah, it's doing what I said I wasn't going to do. E, right? So I'm going to let E, hopefully I can fit everything here. E be the midpoint of BC. And we know we can do this. We've talked about this before, way back in Proposition 10, where we cut the line in half. So we get a midpoint. And we also talked about constructing lines through given points on a line with a certain angle. So we're going to use proposition 31 for this. So by proposition 31, we can construct a line through E, a line through E, construct a line through E with angle, well, I guess, hang on, sorry, I think I did, I said something, and I think I meant to write something different. So proposition 31 actually allows you to construct a line through a given point that's parallel to another line. So what I actually meant to say was I'm going to construct a line through A parallel to BC. I'm doing this in a slightly different order than in the Euclid text because I'm trying to name things consistently here. So I'm going to get a line here that's parallel to BC, and I'm going to call this line L. Right, so for now, right, usually we refer to lines by points on them, but since there are no points on here, I don't want to add additional points right now. It's just going to be L. And so now we're going to construct. Now we're going to construct the line I was talking about earlier, which is through E with angle D. So now we use the proposition 23 to do this. So we're going to construct a line through E with intersecting L at F.
I guess strictly speaking, we need to know, I mean, there's a difference between going towards C or maybe not. Maybe the proof would work. I mean, the way it's drawn in the text, the angle opens up, so to speak, towards C. So the angle D is on the side C of E. I guess it wouldn't really make any difference to what you're about to do if you drew it on the other side. I mean, I guess proposition 23 actually allows you to do that, but it's not in the statement somehow.
Yeah, I think it would be fine if you. So you're saying if D was an obtuse angle pointing the other way, and then I'll be drawing a line.
Yeah, that I hadn't actually thought about that case. I guess what I was meaning was you could draw D so that it opened. You'll excuse me drawing in your diagram. You could draw it like this, which is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But you could, I mean, proposition 23, strictly speaking, just says you can draw an angle somewhere on that line, right? So it could be over there.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the proof, it actually, because it goes back to proposition 22 in the construction of triangles, you can choose which side you want it on, but that's one of those things that you sort of know you can do because you read the proof, but it's not actually in the statement.
Right. If you pointed it the other way, would it still be okay? I think it would still be okay, right? The proof.
I think the rest of what you're about to say, I mean, it's everything you've drawn so far is invariant under reflection, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Thanks, Dan. So I'm gonna be. What was I doing? I'm gonna draw a line through E intersecting L at F, and such that, well, the sentence is incomplete, but I'll just draw the line first, so we have something to look at. So I'm going to draw this line here, and I'm going to draw it so that it intersects A, well, the line L. Now that we can call this AF, and forget about L, and such that so this proof, the construction takes longer than such that CEF is equal to D, right? So this little angle here that we just made is equal to D. I'll draw the D here, and the rest of the construction are just joining lines together. So we're going to join together A and E. I'll do this without comments. We've done this enough times already, and I think the last construction we need a parallelogram, and so I'll also do this without comment because it's essentially doing the same thing as we did through A. We're drawing a line through C parallel to EF, and we already did this just then. So we're going to draw a line through C parallel to EF like so, and it's going to intersect F at G. And I've done this for the third time now at G. Okay.
And so maybe we should figure out a different user interface. This clearly is not optimal.
Am I the only one? I might be the only one who keeps doing that. I've never seen you do it. I can be more mindful, I guess. Okay, so I think the diagram's complete, right? And so yeah, I just drawn the last one without comment because we've used proposition 31 again, and we've already got that written down for the lines through A, and we have a parallelogram because F E C G is a parallelogram. So I'll just note here F. That actually was fine. CG is a parallelogram, and the reason is that it's an intersection. It's formed from two sets of intersecting parallel lines. And I'll go to the next board for the statement and the proof. Okay, exit. So the statement here is that the claim is that the areas of F, E, C, G, and ABC, which is the original triangle we had, are equal. Okay, so FECG actually was constructed with an angle D, right? So that already satisfies the criterion we were given, and we just have to prove that its area is the same as ABC. So we've already kind of got the construction for this. So the proof is that since BE is equal to EC, so this is the midpoint E that we constructed earlier, and so of course the two bits that they cut, they're the same. So the areas of the two triangles that we got, where we also, this actually also cuts the triangle ABC in half, of ABE. All right, that's one half of the triangle, and AEC, the other half of the triangle, are equal. And this is proposition 38, which says that if two triangles have equal bases between two parallel lines, and these two triangles are indeed between two parallel lines, then they must be equal. So the areas equal. So I've already kind of said this. Oh yeah, okay, so we said this. So therefore, the area. So I think this is the first time Euclid actually uses the word area. We've been using it quite a bit, but I think he's forced it here because he's talking about the area of something being twice something else. Does the area of
never stopped him before. He would just say blah is twice blah.
Right.
Just without a word.
Yeah, right. And now he actually, I mean, it was in brackets. That of AEC, right? So you got ABC, which is made of two halves of two things which are equal. So ABC must be double any one of them. And so the parallelogram FECG is also double the area of AEC. This is a previous proposition, since they have the same base between the same parallel lines. Same base between the same parallel lines. And it was essentially the statement of proposition 41. Okay, so I'll just conclude it here because this is it, because we're showing that FECG is double AEC and ABC is also double AEC, so they must be equal. I think this is also some of these arithmetic caveats that Dan mentioned before, right? We made the comment about this, right? If something is double this of the same thing, two things are double of the same thing, then they must be equal. There's some arithmetic there that you have to do, but I think we've done something like that before. So similar kind of argument shows that FECG and ABC have equal areas.
Yep. Cool. All right, you want to hand over the orb?
Yep.
I get the easy proofs today. This one's pretty boring, really. Okay, proposition 43. Mostly this is just a matter of understanding the notation. So Euclid introduces some new terminology for referring to a parallelogram here, which we haven't seen before.
Oh, yeah.
So proposition 43 says, in any parallelogram, complements of the parallelogram about the diameter are
Do you
equal.
mean diagonal then?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Are equal in area. This is completely unintelligible without the diagram, so we consider a parallelogram, ABCD, and a diameter, AC. And then, so that's the parallelogram referred to the first time in the statement, ABCD. The complements of the parallelograms about the diameter. All right, so what this is referring to is I could take this diameter, AC, I could pick a point on it. So say let K be on the diameter AC, say here. And then I can draw through that parallel lines, one parallel to AB, like so, and one parallel to AD, like so. Then by construction, I've now produced 4 new parallelograms. Let me introduce some names for these points so we can denote these parallelograms by something. This is part of the setup of the proposition. It's these constructions I'm making are, strictly speaking, not part of the proof. They're part of the statement. So given what I've described, we can consider the parallelograms. Well, what Euclid actually says at this point is EH and FG. This is not explained, but it clearly means, if you look at the proof, EH is just referring to this parallelogram by naming a diameter, which is kind of useful, I guess. So that means the parallelogram AEKH, respectively, the parallelogram whatever FKGC. Right, so that's a new piece of notation. So those are the 2 parallelograms that are referred to. So when we say parallelograms, it's referring to those 2 parallelograms that I just named. And the complements are these bits left over, the ones that are not along the diagonal. Right? And the claim is that they have equal area. Clearly, I can choose so that these 2 don't have equal area, right? But their complements do. Euclid actually says the so-called complements, as though he's, so-called is the usual way you throw shade on other people's choice of notation in mathematics. So I don't know, I don't know what he's doing there. But so the complements are the parallelograms. Well, I'll just use the new terminology. So KD and BK. And we claim
responsibility for the notation.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, don't blame me. That's what so-called means. And we claim they are equal in area. And the proof is easy. Okay, so here goes. The triangles ABC and ACD are equal in area. That's by proposition 34. Because we took a diameter of a parallelogram and divided it into two triangles, and we know they're equal in area. Now, since EH is a parallelogram, so we just make the same observation two more times. And AK, its diameter, AEK is equal in area to AKH, again by proposition 34, and similarly applying the same logic to the other parallelogram, KGC is equal in area to KCF. Okay, so now hopefully it's pretty clear what we're going to do. So how do I want to say this? So by common notion 2, AEK combined with KGC, so this is equal in area to that. I'll just say equal, because we don't have any other notion of equality for combined figures like this, is equal to AHK combined with KCF. But then, since we know that the area of the larger triangles is equal, subtracting equal things from equal things leaves equal things, which is common notion 3. So if we subtract the green area from the triangle ABC and the orange area from the triangle ADC, what's left must be equal, which is what we wanted to show. Maybe I didn't quite write enough at the end there, but I think it was worth it to fit it on one board. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward.
Cool. I can see how all of these area manipulations are going to lead to Pythagoras, right? Because you know, there's you know, those squares that you put on the sides are areas of, I guess, parallelograms, but you know, squares which are parallelograms. So some of this is going to come back, and I can see where this is going now, right?
Yeah, it's this part's pretty fun. I think the anticipation is is I have to resist the temptation to just read the rest. I want to read it just before we do each one of these sessions.
Right. Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet. I've just seen the crazy diagram, and I don't know how we're going to reproduce that in our boards. We can do it, but yeah, it'll be fun to finally get to Pythagoras's.
Yeah, I had the feeling reading the beginning of this proof, the way this notation is introduced, and it reminds me of the difference between video games when we were kids, Kenneth, when you just got the game and there was no instructions, no tutorial. You just have to figure out by pressing buttons what happens.
Well,
compared to modern day games where you just die. Yeah, death teaches you how to play.
Yeah.
Compared to modern games where there's, you watch 1 hour of YouTube before you even start playing it, and everything has an inbuilt tutorial. Euclid's like old school video game, right? Yeah. It's like, I'm not gonna. You figure out what this terminology means.
Yeah. I wonder if kids these days will say that textbooks have gone the way of modern video games, holding your hand. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know that in math they hold your hand much more than they used to. Maybe. I do think.
They got like fancy colored boxes with like, cool graphics. I don't know. I'm just assuming they must. I don't remember how I learned. Oh, I know. I learned, math from notes produced by members of the math department, right? They were diagrams, but they weren't fancy, right? They were just some dude typed them up.
I guess calculus textbooks, even when we were undergrads, were pretty high production affairs, right? Maybe they haven't changed too much.
Yeah, but like even calculus at UNSW, we literally learned it from notes that like the math department just typed up.
All
We
right.
didn't have to. The great thing was that we, unlike our American friends, we didn't have to pay. Oh, they're quite expensive. Like, $80, $90 for a
Yeah,
calculus textbook. Yeah,
yeah,
it was $5, $5 for the notes, and you had to line up to get it.
that's right. Yeah.
No, it's not like an old man.
That's part of the joy of getting older as you get to do this
Right.
routine.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's it for Euclid. What's the time? Oh, perfect. All right.
Just on time, yeah.